What's going on, everybody? It's Dot Bets. We're checking back in. We got our On the Dot PGA live stream coming at you guys here live on this beautiful Tuesday evening to cover the good old Charles Schwab Challenge. Back again with my guy, Bet with the Boys, a.k.a. Teaser Nation. How are we feeling, buddy?
Good. I know we didn't have a stream last week, but it was a good week of golf. It was kind of sucked that it was playing easy. I mean, they couldn't really do much, I guess, to make it play harder, just given the rain and stuff. But it was kind of ridiculous in a major just to see a score at 21 under. So wasn't a great week for VIP either. Brooks kind of sold for us. He didn't play well at all putting wise and, around on Saturday. But, yeah, overall it was a fun week to watch. And congrats to, the Xander backers and Xander himself finally getting it done. I wish we were on him. We've been on him plenty of times in the major scenarios. But, he finally –
the amount of money I've lost on Xander outright is just criminal. And then the one time you knew it was happening. After round one, I was like, please blow this. Please blow this. Please blow this.
Yeah, me, I just didn't think he was blowing it this time. For some reason, I was like, because at that course, you couldn't really blow it. What hole was he going to blow it on?
He tried on that par 5 where he bogeyed, he triple putted, and then and then 18. That was a tough drive. Yeah. And then he had that spectacular second shot. So I mean, Bryson was ready, and kudos to Bryson. But we were on the stream before, and it's like, man, how the hell? I played Bryson in a couple matchups, but I didn't play him outright or top 10 or top 20. But it's like on a field or a course where you just basically grip it and rip it, and you got to do any course management.
Yeah,
Bryson's a perfect candidate for that. So
yeah, it was a no-brainer. We missed out on Bryson. I think it was the easy one. Overall, the other parts of the top 20 weren't that predictive. There was some weird. I mean, Dean Burmeister was a decent one. Robert McIntyre shows up in majors. I didn't know he was going to show up here, but
literally only shows up in majors. Literally,
yeah, really. And there was a couple randoms. I mean, JT got a top 20 back home. So yeah, I mean, overall, Hovland to me was, I guess, looking back at it, like you said with Bryson, with him, if he doesn't have to think on a course, he plays well. So you didn't really have to think on this course, which kind of makes sense looking back at it. But we move on to Charles Schwab. So
yeah, and McIntyre for the Open is going to be stupidly chalk because everyone's going to gravitate toward him and say, "Oh, he plays well in majors. We got to play him." So that'll be a good one. But yeah, it's and what it reminded me, the majors always remind me of, man, how beautiful the PGA used to be with all of these guys playing on one tour. Just how beautiful it was.
Yeah.
And now we just get cheated out of that, and you get the Live, and then you get PGA, and then you get 4 very, very good tournaments throughout the year, which glorifies the majors a little bit more, but it makes the fan miss those particular tournaments that happen every single weekend. So, but let's move on to the Charles Schwab Challenge this week. Plenty of money to be had this week once again. If this is your first time tuning in, appreciate that. And we apologize for not having a stream last week. That was our bad. We had a couple conflicts. I couldn't do it Tuesday. Teaser was like, I can't really do this Wednesday, but I could probably do this time, and it just didn't work out. So we apologize. It happens, but unfortunately it happened on a major week, and that's we usually get a lot of questions, a lot of engagement, and rightfully so, because that's when the golf world is full front and center. But we are back. So Charles Schwab, we will have our outrights, our placements, and our full cards out Wednesday night on our respective X handles. It's so weird to say X instead of Twitter handles. And then, so this stream, we just talk out loud and see what our strategies will be towards and what we're leaning to do. And then we talk a little bit of DFS strategy. And then we go into our tournament matchups. And then if you want to get round by round matchups, you guys can use the link below to sign up for our VIPs. And make sure you guys check us out on X as well. So hit that thumbs up on YouTube. And if you guys are in the comments, or if you guys are here, throw us a comment. Love to hear from you guys. Let me know how your guys' PGA Championship went. Did you guys have Xander? Did you guys not? If you guys made any money, would love to hear from you guys. Appreciate you tuning in. So, Caesar, let's get after the Charles Schwab challenge. Let's see what stats we need to know and what about the course. Let's see who we should target.
Yeah, so this is this is pretty much the opposite of last week. Par 70, almost 7,200 yards. One of those positional courses. And it's funny, this is probably going to play harder than last week as well, which is, I don't know, it's just funny to me how this course can play harder. So the winning score this week has usually been around 11 to 14 under. Really the keys here, precision off the tee is a big one, accuracy on approach, which is usually the theme everywhere. And then really you see a lot of guys spike putting this week. So putting is a big thing within 5 to 15 feet here. Course history is a big part here. Last 9 Charles Schwab winners, 6 posted a top 10 within the 3 years prior to that win. Couple guys that fit that category this year, Spieth, which we'll probably talk about in a little, but Finau, Grillo, who won last year, Brian Harmon, who everyone's on this week, Brendan Todd, who I think might be my sleeper of the week, Scheffler, Adam Schenk, and Max Homa. Couple course comps, TPC River Highlands, which is in Cromwell, Connecticut, Travelers, Harbor Town, which we saw a couple weeks ago, and then Pebble Beach, all shorter courses where there's going to be a lot of wind. Since we're in Texas this week, it's going to be kind of exposed to a lot of wind throughout the tournament. So really, and then another key stat here, 85% of approach shots come from inside 200 yards. So really 200 plus isn't a big factor. It's just from that 100 to 200 range. And then another key is top 10 in par 4 scoring. So 350 to 400. A lot of holes fall into that category this week. So obviously we'll see Scheffler top 10 in that, Hovland, Spieth, Chris Kirk, Matt Kuchar, and Ben Griffin. So really just key stats, good drives, strokes gain approach, par 4, 350 to 400. And then proximity, anything under 200, really.
Yeah, completely different because last week we weren't talking about it, but if you read any if you did any research, you were saying, wow, who hits long irons very, very well? And that's who you targeted. And, I was on Benny On big time. I really, really liked him. I played him a couple matchups. I also had I think a top 20 on him. So it was top 10 or top 20. I can't remember. But I love the way his game's playing. So he's going to be one that I keep continuing to target, Benny Hahn there. But I mean, let's just talk about the elephant in the room here. We have the lowest outright I've seen since probably Tiger Woods being minus 190 at points, but Scottie at plus 280 outright. I mean, he should run away with this, but you have that lingering incident that happened. I don't know if anybody saw that. That was a crazy, crazy incident there. But Scottie at plus 280. I mean, I can't touch that. I mean, I know you're not going to touch it.
Yeah.
Would you advise anybody just take a live bet or see how round 1 goes and go from there?
I mean, I think my strategy with outrights this week, I think on FanDuel they do it. I don't know if they do it on DraftKings, but I'm going to take outrights without Scottie Scheffler. So they usually give a little market for that. So you can just take a winner if Scheffler comes in first and they come in second. You win that bet. So, I think I may do that this week. If not, live betting's where it's at, kind of see where Scheffler is. I mean, if he's up there, I probably might not even live anyone really. I honestly think he wins this week. He's going to come back and win, I think. So
I hope not, because, man, it's just the outrights have just been so hard to figure out because Scottie's been so dominant. And it's like, do you really wish to put, on a plus 400 or plus 300 or plus 2, pre-tournament? It's tough to swallow in my eyes. I'd rather sprinkle a long shot and see what happens.
Yeah, if he puts average this week, he's going to win. I mean, all he has to do is putt, probably not gain. I mean, he probably win gaining negative strokes putting, but if he's Plus, I mean, he's going to blow the field away because he's good at everything else. So
Yeah,
or just,
a win without is probably the best idea to do for sure.
I would advise that. But yeah, just I guess getting into the players. I guess the top of the board we can start behind Scheffler, like 12 to 30, I would say. I don't even think I'm intrigued on anyone in that. I don't really like any of the favorites. I don't like Morikawa. I know we say we have to go back to someone that hurt us the week before. I mean, I had him outright last week. He didn't show me anything on a Sunday. Although I am intrigued, I might take him first round leader. I don't know what it is, but I think all the putts are going to drop that should have on Sunday, and he'll come back and just make everything round one. So I'm intrigued in that, but I don't think he wins. Homan Spieth, I don't like Spieth at all, man. I know he loves his course. He's back home. Wouldn't touch him. I think he played decent last week. I don't know if he even got top 40, but he was around there. But yeah, I don't think I would touch any of those guys either. And Finau can't putt, wouldn't touch him. Saw him over the weekend do nothing. He can't make a 5-foot putt either. And then Harris English is a little too low for me. So that's just the top of the board, but I don't like anyone really.
Yeah, it's those guys right there. I mean, I've gotten burned all season by Morikawa, Homa, Spieth, and Finau. I was on early because I was like, you know what? He's going to turn it around. He's got to.
Yeah.
And he has not. So I might not start going till 35-1 for an outright if I'm going to go with anybody.
No, I agree.
The one that sticks out to me that played more surprisingly well, and not a lot of people were on him this past week, was Minwoo Lee. I really, really like his game.
You love him, man.
But not a lot of people have been on him recently. Remember how we started the year and everyone's like, Minwoo Lee this.
Right. Yeah.
And everyone, because they got burned. But I think now he's coming back into form. It's kind of same with Sungjae. He's just hard to read. But you're talking about ball striking and, proximity to the hole. I mean, those two are pretty damn nice. But Minwoo Lee is probably my favorite outright there. And especially if you're playing DFS. Because if you go to his ownership, he's in the 7%. So he's sub 10%, which is always nice. And what is he? He is at 9,700. So you're going to pay up for him, but I think you can pay it up pretty nicely there. What do we got? He's right around Siwoo Kim, who was pretty popular last week. Finau, Harman. So everyone's going to gravitate towards them and leave you with a great pivot of Minwoo Lee. So we'll see how that plays out. But another guy around, Hoagie. That's your boy. What do you think about him this week? He played pretty well last week.
He did. He's missed 3 cuts here in 50 seconds. So I like to play him where he plays well. I don't know. He doesn't look like he plays well here, so I don't know about him this week.
Yeah.
But I would say I think that 40 to 60 range is where I'm going to kind of live at with outrights this week. I think it's closer than ever. Like, I think I'd rather take someone in that where they have the same potential as winning as Morikawa, in my opinion, this week. So,
like McCarthy, you got Tom Kim, who played well last week. Thomas Dietrich, like him. That's a good number there at 45-1.
Like Chris Kirk, 50-1 is crazy. I love that number. Eckroat, I know everyone's on. He's another good guy. Probably will go top 10 on him.
I can't take him 45-1 though. I don't imagine him at 45-1 ever. Right. But he played very well last week, and I had a couple people DM me, and I gave him some sleepers, and Eckroat was one of them. So we'll see if he can repeat it. But I think he's pretty chalky. So I probably won't go back to him. And 45-1 is a very tough number.
Yeah, he kind of just pops off sometimes. It's like, I know he got a 16th year last year. He's a good ball striker. He's coming in good form. So I don't mind him as like a top 20, but I agree. I don't know if I can get there on the 45. And then I think one of my favorite plays is going to be obviously that Chris Kirk number. And then really, like you said, you talked about Glover already. Mm-hmm. I kind of like
fucking swamp ass.
Yeah, honestly, these guys I might take. So these are in the 70 to 100 range. Adam Schenk, I love this week. He's been kind of knocking on the door. It's going to be tough for him to get a win, obviously. Got second here last year, so I'm kind of going for that trend of a top 10 the past 2 years winner. He seems to be kind of a guy where it's like he kind of plays well on harder courses, and this is, it's a pretty tough course if you. And then another intriguing stat on the par 4 is 350 to 400. He's 35th in my model, so that's pretty decent. He kind of likes tougher courses. He's kind of been popping in majors recently, just showing up on the leaderboard. So I like him. And then, like I talked about, Brendan Todd as well. I know he doesn't win obviously that much, but 100 to 1 on Brendan Todd I like. But really, kind of just eye the top 20 with him. He's gotten 2 top 10s here the past 3 years. So I mean, this kind of fits his game. Great putter, keeps it in the fairway, good on approach. So.
Yeah, a couple other guys I'll talk about is Taylor Moore and Batia. Those guys are good at 50 to 1. Shank, I'm okay with that as well with you. This is how bad Grillo has fallen off. Obviously he won this last year, but he's plus 11,000. I mean,
that's just crazy. I know
you very rarely see a repeat champion or someone that plays the same course that just won it last year be that bad. But do not sprinkle him. He's not going to do anything. I just wanted to point that out, just how crazy that was.
Right. I think, just looking at this board, we haven't taken a big look, but I think this is the week to kind of pick out mid to long shots in the placement market. I'm not even intrigued on any of the favorites. Just kind of ride some long shots and mid shot guys. So
yeah, it always intrigues me because sometimes when you're doing these top 20s, like Max Homa plus 100, I feel like that's such a good number for these books because a lot of people will play it, and there's a good chance that he plays bad.
No, I agree. And
then you get Spieth plus 105. Like you should hammer that, right? You would think that.
100%. I just can't get there on a one because you got to put at least like 1 unit for me on a plus 100. I like doing the closer to minus bets in a major. Like it bit me last week with Brooks minus 115, but I mean he finished 1 shot off of top 20 and he just didn't play well at all. So it's like I like doing that when it's a short, like smaller field or a major where guys are going to show. But when the field's like this, I mean, it's hard. It's tougher to get it. You can get a T27 and play well. It's like it's harder with a bigger field and a course like this. So
and off a major, so
right,
there's a lot of momentum from a lot of these guys that played decent. Where you have the Justin Roses, the Eckroats, all these people down here, and Tom Kim's, the Moores, the Glove, people that played pretty dang well last week, but didn't finish very high, that are riding some momentum. Like Minwoo Lee, I liked him a lot, and I thought he performed each and every a lot better than Hoagie as well. These are the guys I'm targeting for placements more than those top heavier Morikawas and Homas and Spieths and Finaus. So, any other? Are you flirting with the top 40 market at all this week? I don't think there's too much.
I am not getting into that market.
Like the top 40 market is truly long shots here. So I mean, you got to be looking deep into like Justin Lauer, Carson Young, Luke List. If Luke List plays well, you have Victor Perez, you got KH Lee. So you have all these guys that are just very, very deep on the board. So you might sprinkle them, but I would probably play a little bit more of those guys into DFS there. I'll probably stick with the top 20s and top 10s like I've been doing.
Yeah.
And then go with some matchups as well. So what you want to go over some tournament matchups? You see these at all?
Yeah, let's look at those real quick. This is the bread and butter, I think, if people gotta start targeting these if anyone watching. I mean, this is kind of where you make your money. I went 2-2 last week, so it wasn't the greatest week, but you can get value everywhere, and it's just they're great bets. So
I love the round. You got me hooked on the round matchups, man.
You're better at than me right now. I don't understand it.
I was against them, not against them, just I'd never have done them. And I'm like, man, if you sit there and watch the rounds and you just look at their stats afterwards, you can get some pretty educated guesses of who's going to start playing well
Right.
and who
Yeah.
just missed putts or who's driving very, very well and just misses the green. Oh, okay. And you just find some
Yeah.
good value on that front. So
Right.
round
Like
matchups and tournament matchups, definitely something you should do.
yeah, like the round matchups, it doesn't always work out, but it's like if you see a guy lose -4 strokes putting, but he's gaining off the tee and on approach, he's most likely gonna, make some putts the next day and kind of keep
Mm-hmm.
that, all the way throughout the bag. So it's like it's there's usually some good spots for it. I mean, you've been kind of killing them. So I've been, once here and there. I'll go in the for like I did Morikawa over Schauffele the last round, which was that was a blunder, but
Man,
thought he would play a little better. But
I've noticed round 4 is always the toughest because then that's when a bunch of juice gets involved. Where
yeah,
like Scottie Scheffler was like minus 400 against
I
somebody
saw
last
that
week.
against Hubbard. Yeah,
Yeah, and you're just like, okay, you can't play that obviously,
yeah,
but then you can still find some good value. Like I took Bryson over Hovland on
yeah,
round 4, but I was sweating it because I needed
yeah.
Bryson to make that putt and Hovland to miss because they were playing elite golf. But I
Right.
just knew Bryson had it in him to do well. I just didn't think Hovland had it for all 4 rounds. So kudos to
Right.
him. But you can just kind of, my favorite round is probably round 2 because it's the same group matchups that you can target and you can just
Mhm.
look and see, okay, that guy did not play as well as he should have. And
Yeah.
I'm getting a better line here. So yeah, let's just go back to him and boom that. It's just having that discipline to do that and look at the stats after it. And you don't necessarily have to watch golf. You really don't. You don't necessarily have to sit there and watch round by round. It helps, but you can just look at data golf afterwards.
Yeah,
And it'd be
definitely,
pretty damn good.
definitely.
So,
Yeah.
all right. So let's
Um,
look at some tournament matchups. You see any of that pop off to you?
I kind of like Keegan over Justin Rose, -120. I mean, English over Finau. I don't know if I like the juice there at -120. Man, these are all 120s to
I'm so pissed
100.
they put Eckroat and
I
Batia
know.
against each
I
other.
know. That's the
That's
two.
so
That's I
ridiculous.
know. Kirk Poston. I gotta check Poston. Let me see what he does here. Oh wow,
I'll probably
wow.
do Minwoo Lee over Denny McCarthy, even though I like McCarthy this week. I think he's when it's your technical course and if he's putting, he's gonna be good. But I think Minwoo Lee is a good one there.
I think I like Kirk over Poston. Poston 4 out of 5 years missed cut, and
Mm.
then a top 10. Morikawa Homa. Probably stay away from that. These aren't that great of matchups this week, if I'm being honest. I don't like.
There's a lot of minus 110s, which is pretty
Yeah,
rare.
which that kind of scary. Yeah, I know. I mean, they made them pretty even this week.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those couple I like. I'll probably dive more into it tomorrow. But yeah, it could be kind of probably a 1 or 2 type tournament matchup. Don't have to go kind of big on them. Just maybe pick 1 or 2 out this week.
Yeah, we got Homa over Morikawa if you want to do contrarian there.
Yeah, I don't mind that one.
I think I'd slightly put Taylor Moore over Tom Kim. I think I'd slightly do that.
I like that too because it's like where you think Tom Kim's going to play well, he always plays bad. But where you think he's going to play bad, he plays good. So
and Moore has been very consistent.
yeah,
I don't think he's played very well here, but overall, I think the recent form kind of trumped that.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, these aren't the greatest tournament matchups.
Yeah,
There.
I don't. Maybe shop lines, but
Yeah, they're pretty even.
Yeah,
but I think there's some good edges there for
mm-hmm.
certain ones. Nothing that I would like, multi-unit plays on them, but
right.
Put a unit on them and go from there.
Yeah.
Have you ever flirted with this make the cut to miss the cut? Anything like that?
I don't really do those. I sometimes in a major I'll do them for fun, but I really don't do them. They don't even have that many.
No. And you said, what's the round 1 leaders? What would Morikawa be?
He was 25 to 1.
Morikawa 25 to 1. Yeah,
I actually kind of like that. Yeah.
If you like him to come out of the gate hot.
Him, I would say Eckroat maybe. Honestly, Keegan Bradley, for some reason, I can see him going like 700-800 tomorrow. I don't know why. But just a kind of I mean, always a gut feeling with the first round leaders is just kind of just throwing a dart at the board.
Yeah.
But some reason I feel it with Keegan.
All right. Any other ones you want to talk about before we get up on out of here?
I think we covered most of it. Just if anyone's watching, just remember, ask for our cards tomorrow. We've kind of been doing well this year. I know last week was kind of rough for, I guess, me, but we're gonna get back on track this week.
Oh yeah, it's a long marathon. It's not a sprint. We've been doing this for all year. We've been profitable.
Yeah, 100%.
Outrights are due. They're coming due. We just got to get. It's either Scottie or a plus 10,000 guy. That's what we got to remember ourselves.
Yeah, I'm telling Brendan Todd this week. That's the pick of the week.
Oh shit, Brendan Todd.
Yeah,
I guess I got to do a top 20 on Brendan Todd.
Yeah, I think I'm going. Yeah, definitely a top 10.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys have any additional questions, if you're watching the replay, throw it in the YouTube comments. Join the Discord and talk all things sports with us each and every day, 24/7. We'll be back next week. I don't even know what the hell the next tournament is. Do you have a clue?
Next week. Let me double check.
I do it week by week. Can't get too far ahead of yourself,
I don't know if it's a good one. Let me double check where they're at. They are at RBC Canadian Open, and then it's Memorial. So two decent ones coming up.
Oh yeah, we got some good ones coming up. Good. Yeah. All right, well, let's get back on track. Let's get back with a little roll with these live streams. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll be back next week, and let's cash some tickets at this Charles Schwab challenge.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you guys.
Yeah.